What a Mickey Mouse media we have in this country. Absolute, pathetic, corrupt joke. Corrupt. They pretend they care about the well-being of the president, commander-in-chief. They could give a damn. They wish he would drop dead tomorrow. You and I know it. This line, we all wish him the best, and then attack, attack, attack. And they have these narratives that they just keep pushing, that the president has downplayed the virus. Really? The president's been in charge of Operation Warp Speed to try and get a vaccine as fast as possible to save as many lives as possible. We've got new therapeutics out there that we didn't have. That were developed in warp speed time. He's the one that got the ventilators. He's the one that got the PPEs. He's the one that had the extra hospital beds built. But he didn't take it seriously, ladies and gentlemen. He's the one that's had to deal with an economy that collapsed as a result of this virus and as a result of punitive decisions made by some of these governors through emergency powers that now at least one court in Michigan says the Supreme Court of Michigan, the governor there didn't even have, and I doubt most of them do. Day in and day out, we saw what he was doing. Day in and day out, he was meeting with hundreds and hundreds of people. The task force, scientists and other experts in the federal government, in different federal agencies, people in the private sector, experts, all kinds of people providing advice to the President of the United States. Biden sits there in his basement, eating pistachio nuts and Lay's potato chips, shooting spitballs all over the place, never lifts a finger, can barely complete a sentence. President of the United States, day in and day out, we saw it on video. We know what he's been doing. And yet, they keep telling us he's been downplaying the virus, and now maybe he'll take it seriously. Now maybe that he's got the virus, maybe he'll take it seriously. How sick is this? They say he doesn't follow the science. He's been following the science since day one. He's been trying to accommodate governors who've made bad decisions in terms of prioritizing their budget and their health needs in their states, and they're the front lines. He's been filling their gaps left and right. He's been pushing through Congress these massive relief bills. Now he wants to focus more on the virus, and now Nancy Pelosi holds him up and says, no, not until you bail out the blue state governors and their pensions. Pensions? Oh, yes. Only then will we help the unemployed. Only then will we help restaurants. Only then will we help airlines. She holds a gun to his head. She's never criticized for anything. She has the gall to go on TV the other day to basically say the chicken's coming home to roost for the President of the United States with a mask. This is the woman who tried to sneak into a salon without a mask. Joe Biden lecturing about what he would have done with the virus. He basically, as he always does, plagiarizes what the president did do. But he had his shot 11 years ago, utterly and completely blew it with the swine flu. And we've been through it. I don't need to go through it again. But the narrative that the media, our corrupt left-wing media, keep pushing, that he downplayed the virus. Really? Signing trillions and trillions of dollars in spending bills? Already has contracted for the production of the vaccines, should they come off the scientific table relatively early. He's already contracted for the distribution. They've already put in place a regime on how it's to be distributed. Does this sound like a guy who's downplaying a virus? Does this sound like somebody who doesn't take it seriously? Why? Because he doesn't wear a mask every single minute of the day? They have no idea how he got this virus. Lots of people who wear masks and socially distance are still getting the virus. It's a virus. And there's no 100% foolproof way to deal with it, either in your own life or your family's life or any business, or even if you're President of the United States. Then I hear he didn't protect us. He didn't protect his staff. He didn't protect the Secret Service. What are they talking about? He didn't protect us. He took steps that the Democrats and the media opposed. We know what they are already. Travel bans from and to China, travel bans from and to Europe. Fauci was opposed to it. He did it anyway. He did it anyway. What is it? We haven't shut down the economy so we look like North Korea and handed the election over to the Democrat? This is what they're upset about. Their media and the Democrat Party media and the Democrat Party pushing these lies and these narratives while he's in the hospital. Protecting the Secret Service. I heard my buddy Bongino say. All of a sudden, they're worried about law enforcement. Not when they're getting beaten over the head. Not when these Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and other running around, spewing, spitting, throwing Molotov cocktails. They never had a problem with that. Nancy Pelosi calls them stormtroopers. James Clyburn calls them Gestapo. They're called secret police. All of a sudden, the Democrats and the media are worried about law enforcement. How disgusting is this? How transparent and cynical is this? Unbelievable. He didn't protect his staff. I've gone into that Oval Office at least 4 times since this virus. You are tested before you can go into the Oval Office. You must socially distance when you're in the Oval Office. I have no idea what they're talking about. None. And neither do they. And the president's going to be walking out of Walter Reed Hospital sometime this evening, sometimes during the course of this program, because he wants to get out and he wants to lead the country. He's a serious man. He has a serious job. Joe Biden has never been a serious man. 47 years, nothing to show for it, nothing. They concoct a fiction around this man. A fiction that somehow he's a leader because he wears a mask. It's appalling. His SUV ride, look at the Secret Service members. Look how he endangered them. He didn't endanger any of them. Last check, none of them got sick from Trump. But they're worried about the Secret Service. Were they worried about the Secret Service at Lafayette Park when they were being attacked? Not in the least. Not in the least. They attacked the Secret Service. They attacked the Park Police. They attacked federal law enforcement, the Attorney General, the Department of Justice, the President of the United States. And now all of a sudden, they genuflect, and this is what they do. They genuflect. Oh, the poor Secret Service. Anything to destroy Trump, anything, even when he's sick, even when he has the virus. What this shows you is anybody can get the virus. Even with masks and socially distancing and tests and all the rest. It is a horrible, horrible virus. And yet, the mortality rate is very, very low for the vast majority of the population. You don't see criticism like this. You don't see criticism like this for Andrew Cuomo, for Phil Murphy, for Pritzker, for Newsom, for Whitmer, none of them, who shoved corona-positive patients into nursing homes and into assisted living homes. 40% of the people who are dead from nursing homes, assisted living homes, in that age group. Have you heard a single Democrat, Biden, Harris, criticize what was done? There is affirmative steps taken that killed people. Affirmative steps. Apparently they didn't take the virus seriously. You never hear that. You never hear that. The President of the United States didn't put out those directives. Those governors put out those directives. How do I know? I have 3 of them right in front of me. And yet the media pretend they don't exist. Biden pretends they don't exist. Harris pretends they don't exist. They all pretend they don't exist. This president has moved heaven and earth to deal with this virus. And they're trying to use it to bring down his presidency. Just like they tried to concoct a Russia connection to bring down his presidency. Just like they tried to concoct payoffs and tax evasion and tax violations when it comes to Michael Cohen. None of that has occurred. None of it. 3 weeks ago, we're talking about an Atlantic article. 2 weeks ago, we're talking about a Bob Woodward article. 2 months ago, it was John Bolton. Anything and everything, they just throw it against the wall over and over again because they think you're stupid. And because they know 40% of the country is stupid. We call that the Democrat base. Meanwhile, what's the scrutiny on Joe Biden's health? None whatsoever. None. Everybody knows he has issues. Everybody knows he has issues. Do they ask for medical records? Do they ask for tests? Nothing. Zero. What about the country? Would the country be endangered if somebody like this is president of the United States with a finger 6 inches away from the nuclear code? No questions. Nothing. What about his record in dealing with a virus that doesn't even come close to the complexity and difficulty of this virus? What about, not a question to Joe, not a question about what he failed to do, nothing about his health, no transparency, nothing about his failures when it came to the swine flu, nothing. Zero. Nothing. More when I return.
Mark Levin.